Hello, I am the Notherian, and I'm here for Game 1 with the Faith's Flourish deck that I drafted with not quite enough plants. Let's see how it plays. I see my first round opponent is Holy Ghost. Excellent player, a long-time SolForge aficionado. Not the kind of person I like to go up against in my first game with the deck. I think the choices here are Zithian Crusher or Bright Tusk Sower. Both of these are excellent cards to get leveled. I think that I will do the Bright Tusk Sower. I think there are... I think leveling my Bright Tusk Sower is going to help me the most, although I'm sad to see two Crushers in my initial draw that I don't get to play. I think that I've got some sacrifice in this deck. Also, potentially, I might be playing my Nuada, my legendary, which benefits from having plants available. So, obviously, this particular plant is not going to be able to be cultivated by Nuada, but leveling the Bright Tusk Sower will give me more plants in play later on, which could be useful either as sacrifice fodder or to cultivate. Here, leveling my Night Gaunt is my top priority. Night Gaunt is a potential game winner. In particular, getting a Spirit Leash onto either a Night Gaunt 2 or a Night Gaunt 3 can just win a game outright, depending on what kind of deck my opponent's playing. Other than that, Conflag. Conflag is quite good against my deck. Actually, Conflag is just a great all-around utility spell for Tempest, doing a small amount of damage to two creatures. So I definitely need to level my Night Gaunt. Then, let's see. So, the Gloom Fiend and the Grove Huntress are both tempting. The problem, of course, is that neither one of them can turn this into an even trade in lane 1. So I'm just going to run that combat. Let's see. So, could do the Gloom Fiend, could win a trade with the Zithian Crusher, be left with 1 health. That's a possibility. I think I'm going to Grove Huntress onto my Night Gaunt, though. And we shall make him a little bit harder to kill. Organ Harvester is quite a useful card to level. Tempted to do that. Also, playing both Nuada and the Branch Weaver Dryad makes for an interesting play. In particular, I can cultivate myself a 7/7 later on. So let's see what's he done here. So the Organ Harvester is particularly nice because it's a good answer to the Charnel Titan. I think leveling the Branch Weaver Druid is a low priority. I just don't see myself getting much use out of the Branch Weaver here. So I'm going to play the Organ Harvester. Then, a big question is whether to play Nuada. So I've already seen my Branch Weaver Dryad. I've seen one of my Bright Tusk Sowers. I've got 15 cards left in my deck, so there's a 1 in 3 chance that I see my other Bright Tusk Sower. I also could potentially see one of my... I believe I have one remaining 2/9 Tree Folk, or I guess he's a plant now. I'm going to play Nuada. I'm not sure if this is smart. Possible that I just want to level my Dark Heart Wanderer. Let me think for a second. Leveling the Dark Heart Wanderer might be the safer play, but I'm going to try the Nuada. This is the problem that I get into when I drafted a deck which is almost able to get good use out of the Nuada, but not quite. And so that leads me to a lot of tough gameplay decisions. If I had just a few more plants, this would be an easy decision one way or the other. Spirit Leash. Um, could trade my Swamp Moss Lurker for his Titan, although I'll probably end up trading the Organ Harvester for the Titan. Depends a little bit on what he plays. No good use for my Face Flourish. Yeah, okay. I think I'm very happy to just accept the my Face Flourish is going to win in combat against the Magma Hound. I think I'm happy with that. Darkheart Wanderer blocking the Flame Shaper Savant seems like a good move. Then, yeah, I think I'm going to use the Organ Harvester on the Charnel Titan and empty lane my Swamp Moss Lurker. I think Spirit Leash is just... Spirit Leash is an important card in this deck, but I don't have anything great to Spirit Leash. And level 1 Spirit Leash remains useful later into the game. And the level 3 Swamp Moss Lurker can be a strong late game card. So we'll set this up. I'm actually in a pretty good position on the board right now. I, again, do not draw anything to power my Face Flourish. Again, this is... Would love to see a Bright Tusk Sower here on turn 2.1 to be able to get the Cultivate ability. I don't draw it. Sadly, just not the... let's see. Yeah, sadly, just not quite enough plants. Also, this is probably not the turn I want to see Swamp Moss Lurker. Really, the best use of a Swamp Moss Lurker 2 is to block a scary level 2 creature of his, but because I get it on 2.1, I'm going to have to empty lane it, and or I will probably empty lane it. And unfortunately, Swamp Moss Lurker can be killed by a number of level 1 creatures. Ah. Well, that's good. Okay. So the nice thing there is that he was afraid of my Nuada because he doesn't know how few plants I have in this deck. And so he was willing to spend a Spite Mage on it, which is a trade that I'm quite happy with. I believe here that I am going to Gloom Fiend to save my Lurker. And then I'm going to... I could use my Charnel Titan. Charnel Titan's not a horrible play here, but the jump from level 2 to level 3 on my Swamp Moss Lurker is just too much to pass up. So... yeah, so I've now got 3 creatures. Although he is in a great position if and when he draws his Conflag. This would be a great time for him to be able to Conflag my like my Lurker and my Gloom Fiend. And that works. Actually, that works very well. So where does that leave me? So strength in numbers is a little bit tempting here. I could get a +4/+4 on the strength in numbers, which would... nah, that only leaves me with a 2 health Swamp Moss Lurker. Given that he's playing Magma Hound and can flag, I don't think I'm excited to have a low health Lurker sitting around. So I am going to Branch Weaver Druid, run combat, and then we will Bright Tusk Sower. So the nice thing about this play is I haven't seen my Spirit Leashes yet this level, and so next turn getting a Spirit Leash and a decent creature would be a great draw for me. Would love to see, yeah, Spirit Leash and maybe Grove Huntress. Spirit Leash the Face Flourish would be kind of interesting. But actually, I'm not sure what to do here. I was happy to draw my Spirit Leash, but what else do I play? Seems like I need to play the Face Flourish now that I've started down the path of leveling the card. Seems like I'm somewhat committed, and it gives me a chance of a 14/14 next turn, which would be really big. Could do like a Face Flourish and a Bramblewood Guardian, which is an interesting play, although I probably want to level the Grove Huntress. See what he does. Spite Mage. Definitely not happy to see that Spite Mage. And actually the Charger is quite good here too. Because the Charger will be able to take out multiple of my creatures. Yeah, what am I doing here? Not convinced this is the right move, but he should now have a hard time getting rid of my Faith's Flourish. Although, unfortunately, I've already seen a lot of my plants this player level. Yeah, so no plants here. Organ Harvester is useful. Fortunately, he won't be able to kill my Faith's Flourish this turn, and I'm really hoping to get a plant next turn once I reshuffle. There's his Conflag. Oh, Glacial's Blast. Yeah, this is game is not looking good for me. Yeah. The fact that he's playing Glacial Crush is quite bad for me, and I never drew my Night Gaunt 2, which is painful. This game, we'll have to see. This game might not work out for me. That being said, I'm not in imminent danger, and he hasn't leveled a particularly strong late game either. So I'm not sure exactly what to expect going forward. Glad I have my Organ Harvester out because he's he may very well have a strong level 2 creature available to him. He hasn't drawn too many of his level 2 creatures. Flame Shaper. I may Organ Harvester his Flame Shaper. That's actually a very good use of his Acer. Kill that. Then I guess I run combat, make this trade, and then take the 8/8 Worm. So I've got two 8/8s in play, which is not an awful place to be. Again, but this hand is not looking useful. Yeah, unfortunately, the Branch Weaver 2 is actually... The level 1 and the level 3 Branch Weaver are both pretty useful, but the level 2 version with only a 1/1 and a 7/7 is subpar. Maybe I toss out the Bramblewood Guardian just for sacrifice fodder. Yeah, Gloom Fiend 3 ability is quite strong. Okay, well, here's a chance. The Faith's Flourish plus either the Organ Harvester or the Bright Tusk Sower. I mean, Faith's Flourish actually gives me a pretty good chance of getting a 21/21 creature in play. Which he may have a trouble with a 21/21. And I do outnumber him, even though the quality of my creatures is not good. Conflag. Oh, and Flame Shaper. Ouch. I'm going to take some damage here. I really need to get the 21/21 proc off of my Faith's Flourish. I don't see any other path to victory right now. I'm going to play out the Organ Harvester because the problem with the Sower is he's just going to Flame Shaper the little guy. So I think I'm... although maybe I force him to waste a Flame Shaper trigger on it. Yeah, I just take one. If I don't block anything, I take 36 damage, which is a lot. I guess leveling the Sower is important. That might have been a mistake, but I just empty laning the Harvester will allow me to eventually take out his Flame Shaper, but I think it's too little too late. And now I just really hope for a plant, and I don't get a plant. Actually, I get an awful draw. So this is probably game. Yeah, this is an absolutely awful draw. And yeah, he gets his Glacial Crush, and yeah. So anyway, this game I went with Nuada. He drew his Glacial Crushes at good times. And the fact that he was playing Glacial Crush makes my Nuada a lot less useful. This is in particular why Nuada's not a great card in Constructed right now. There's a few too many people playing Glacial Crushes in Yeti decks, and so until the Constructed metagame shifts a little bit, Nuada's really hard to get good use out of. I guess I will do this. And yeah, I don't see how this can work out for me. And now I just concede. So that was game one. Holy Ghost, not the kind of person I like playing against in my first round, and his deck was well equipped to beat mine. We'll see whether I can go and salvage this draft in game two and beyond. Thanks a lot.